Welcome, folks. Today we're gonna talk about new battle mechs for new players. If you're a new player, you're starting out the game, there are many mistakes you can make. But I mean, they are not permanent mistakes, but there are many mistakes. So one of them is to pick the wrong mech. Now you're a new player, you're probably playing with low tier guys, so probably not much NASCAR, but the dwindling population makes it possible for you to play with the high tier guys. So the difference between the two tiers is that basically new players tend to form a firing line and trade shots, whether the high tier guys tend to rotate a lot and go all in from the start. So there won't be many trading situations unless there's a specific reason for them to happen, like a group of people with long range weaponry and stuff like that. So let's start with the basic. Which chassis you might want? Let's see them one by one. Okay, light mechs, they are the hardest possible chassis that you can take, even though this little thing, for instance, has a lot of hitbox issues, namely for lag and HSR and other stuff. It doesn't allow for many mistakes, and you need to know how to play the game, how to maneuver, and how to pilot mechs. So light mechs in general tend to be the worst choice possible for you to make. Now, I'm not saying you might not enjoy them, but they are the worst choice to make performance wise, because you are new, you lack probably the knowledge to build a proper mech, and even if you look on the internet, you don't understand why a mech is built a certain way and which variant you should take and how to play the mech. So little room for mistakes. It's a very specific role they feel. They have basically two roles. There is a supporting fire mech, like for instance the Cougar or the Kid Fox. All these big mechs, they provide support fire, and they're still weak. You should still play with the team, but the light chassis in general doesn't allow you to make mistakes, and it's an extremely difficult mech to master. So you should leave it for last. I don't pilot them because I don't like the pitiful amount of firepower. I want to play stompy robots, so I tend to stick with the assaults. But anyway, the light mech, nope, not a beginner friendly chassis. Medium mechs. Now some medium mechs are extremely good and extremely sturdy, like the Bushwhacker for instance. Its profile is incredible, and if you can get one with good weaponry, even if you lose one side torso, which is this one by the way, see how small, how sleek this is. This is the arm, but the side torso is still there. So if you can get a variant with stuff in the side torso, you can do a lot of stuff, and they're very survivable. Now the problem is the same with light mechs. They have more margin of error, so you can make more mistakes, but you still get punished severely, and their armor is not that great, and their size is big, so you need to know what you're doing with these ones. Okay, they feel most of them are brawlers, and brawling is a difficult art to master. And usually you can see someone like, I don't know, a good brawler like the Vindicator. To me is an excellent brawler. So if you want to go with a brawler mech, the Vindicator is excellent. I would remove the PPC obviously, because look at the base armor. It's got an incredibly high increase in base armor. Energy hit, energy range, energy cooldown. That's great. 5 energy, 1 missile. Go with a medium pulse laser and an SRM 6 build, but you need an XL or a light fusion engine, even better. Generally speaking though, I would not recommend medium mechs, because you need to build them for a specific role. Generally, like I said, it's brawling, but most of them can act as long range fighters, like the Shadowhawk for instance, or the Shadowcat. But as you can probably see, the Shadowcat is an excellent mech. Most people don't get it, they build him not right, but it can be an excellent mech. You can rack up incredible amounts of damage, you can be a nuisance on the table, but you need to know how to play the game. And as a new player, you probably are still learning the ins and out. The assault, and I left the heavy for last, the assault mechs are a very particular type of chassis. I mean, they pack a lot of firepower, they are not very mobile, and they're extremely resilient, especially the Atlas. Now the issue is that, again, while you may, among the three chassis that I've talked so far, the assault mechs are the one that can take the most punishment, thus you can make a lot of mistakes. You won't get punished that much if you make mistakes. The issue is with their mobility. They have the lowest mobility of all except the Gargoyle and other mechs that run fast, but they tend to be slow compared to the other mechs, so they are vulnerable to NASCAR, and when the NASCAR happens, you're usually left behind and light mechs will pick you apart. That means that you need to know the maps, and you need to know which shortcut to take depending on your spawning position, because spawn points, when they change, you need to know you can safely cut through an area, or you can easily get to the first place of the NASCAR by taking little amount of damage by exposing yourself. So you need to know the map and how to position yourself with the team. Definitely going for an Ozone, sticking long range missile on the Ozone, and that's not a good way to play the assault mechs. They're not meant to be long range, at least in the game Mech Warrior Online. In the lore, yeah, sure, some mechs are PPC platforms, like the Highlander, for instance, or the Ozone. Do I recommend this one? If you know the maps, if you learn how to play the maps, sure, go for them. Otherwise, the best starting choice for a new player is the heavy. The heavy chassis has good mobility, good survival, and allows you to make mistakes. Mistake means you expose yourself to enemy damage, or maybe you are caught by some enemies running around. You still have the speed to maneuver out of that position and the durability to not be destroyed immediately. So, with that being said, my recommendation for someone starting out and learning the ropes is to get a heavy mech. Now, heavy mechs can be... Okay, we might disagree on things like the Black Knight and the Cataphract. I think the Cataphract is an awesome brawling mech because it's extremely sturdy. It has an incredible amount of armor, more than most assault mechs, except for those who go for the 140 armor, but this guy can take a lot of punishment, a lot, and he can mount an AC-20 and medium lasers, so you can be a devastating force on the field. So each of these mech in the heavy chassis category can fulfill a role. For instance, the Catapult is a long range mech. You use LRMs as support fire weapons, and when you run out of ammo you switch to your medium lasers. If someone come close, you still can pack 4 medium lasers or 4 small pulse lasers, but whatever you like, but you have a backup weapon. The mechs like the Jaeger mech or the Rifleman are excellent snipers. You can put autocannons and you can shoot behind cover because, I mean, self-explanatory. So as you can see, all these mech, you have the Pop Tartar, the quick draw. You have like another brawler, like the Warhammer. So you have a lot of different types of gameplay here. Okay, you have the Dragon, which is an harasser. You get his autocannon, you start shooting, you get back into cover. So you have great mobility, good mobility, good armor, and you can play different roles by buying different heavy mechs. Okay, So get these things. You can make a lot of mistakes with them and still pull out. Not just fine. Yeah, let's just say just fine. You can play a lot of roles, you can learn the game, and you can rack up the money. Now, good starting max for the heavy category, that depends on your playstyle. Now, since you'll be probably strapped for money, I suggest going for the Marauder. Okay, you can go with a rack build on the Marauder. You get 3 rack and maybe possibly some lasers. The Marauder is a good starting mech. It has a base structure, which is less useful than armor, but nonetheless it still makes him a little bit sturdier. That's one possible mech that you can buy for the inner sphere. Let's see another good mech for the inner sphere. I will say the Warhammer, but the Warhammer is, I'd just say, not optimal for long range engagement, so you cannot make many. You can make a lot of builds, but they do not encompass all roles in the field. So I will definitely recommend you take, for the inner sphere, the Marauder, and try your hand with the Grasshopper. Okay, 2 good mechs. If you want to try your long range, I recommend Catapult, because it allows you to make a lot of builds. Okay, I have the one because I have 4 energy. As you can see, I have some form of structure bonus. I have 4 medium lasers and a level 15 with Artemis. Basically my Catapult is a stock build. It's an improved stock build. And yeah, sure, Marauder, Catapult. The Marauder is the top choice for an inner sphere mech, because you can make so many builds. Look at the design. You can snipe, you can brawl, and you can make rotary autocannon builds. You can make everything with this thing except missiles. So I'd say if you take the Marauder, then take something with missiles. Okay, so the first 2 mechs should be the Marauder and possibly something else that can go long range, which limits your choices to the Catapult, the Archer, possibly the Champion, but the Champion is a mixed bag. I wouldn't take it. So the Catapult or the Archer as your second mech if you want to deal missile damage. And that's it for the heavy category on the inner sphere. If you want to be a clanner, I do not recommend being a clanner from the get-go, because clan mechs are a completely different beast compared to inner sphere. Their weapons have longer range, more damage, and they generate a lot of heat. Also, they do not have the standard autocannon, they have only the ultra autocannon. And the problem with the ultra autocannon is that it shoots multiple projectiles compared to the inner sphere, which launch 1 projectile and does full damage on that component. So the autocannon might actually spread damage if the enemy is twisting or moving. Anyway, if you start with the clans, good choices for starting out are definitely the Hellbringer. This is a very squishy mech, but the fact that you have ECM and you can, even with the Prime, you can make a long range build. You can strip the armor from your arms, go with 4 medium lasers, 2 ultra autocannon 5 or 2 PPCs, and you will be fine. Just have to switch these out if you want to go with PPCs. And yeah, absolutely, Hellbringer is a good choice. Now the Ebon Jaguar is not a good choice because it's easy to strip. Although it can deal very good amount of damage, it's easy to strip. Like the side torso are very big. Even the center torso is exposed when you twist. Not a good choice. Let's see, the Timberwolf could be a great mech, but it's very hard to pilot. It's a lovely mech. You don't see many of them today, but they're a great mech if you know how to pilot them. Sun Spider, nope. The summoner, absolutely not. I do not recommend a summoner. It's an extremely advanced way of playing the game, which you probably don't know how to do. The rifleman, I never tried this chassis. Never bothered, to be honest. But feels like it's very... I mean, it can be devastating, especially the one with 6 AC choose. But I don't know, that seems to be very difficult to play. Now the Mad Dog is a good choice. Also the Linebacker is a great mech. A bit too much, I mean, a bit too overpowered in my opinion, but so let's just say if you want to start out, the Hellbringer and the Linebacker are two excellent choices to start. The Hellbringer allows you to make long range builds, go with ECM and learn the ropes for long range fighting with clan mechs. The Linebacker Prime allows you to go in hard and fast. It's a very fast mech, 97 kph on a heavy mech. That's fucking incredible. And it can do stuff that cannot be done by many heavy mechs. So you can mix and match with the Omnipods. If you don't know what Omnipods are, basically clan mechs use a different type of mold for the chassis, and you can change. Basically what they made in MechWarrior Online is that you can, it's represented by the fact that you can change the Omnipods of the different variants. So you can switch the Omnipod of, say, the Linebacker C with the side torso of a Linebacker B and get his weapon, though you lose the set bonus. But you can do a lot of things with the Linebacker, so definitely watch out for the Linebacker. If you can take him, take him. It's a good mech to start out as a clanner. Also the Hellbringer, but the Hellbringer is more squishier, so if you're an aggressive type of person, of player, go with the Linebacker. If you're more relaxed, more chill, you wanna weaken the enemy before going in, take the Hellbringer as a clanner. The same can be said for Innosphere player, although the Marauder is a very good all-around chassis. You can do many things with that chassis. Now, second type of chassis. Okay, you've got your heavies. They're good. You got your good choices of mech, and you want to move out of the heavy category. You want to switch out. So, second best category to go is definitely the medium category. Assault and light are very difficult to play effectively. Now you can play the assault, but you need to be a particular type of person to perform well with an assault. And when I say perform well, I don't necessarily mean dealing damage, because it doesn't take a genius to deal damage with an assault mech. The problem is how effective your mech is on the battlefield, how good you are at spearheading a push, twisting damage, all that stuff, cutting corners, all that stuff. So I recommend taking an assault mech only if you are the type of aggressive player that knows how to play the game well and maneuver through the map. So medium mechs are a good second choice after heavies. I'm not considering fashion play, by the way, because it's dead. So medium mechs, definitely the second choice after heavies. So there are many good mechs on the medium category. You may or may not agree, but each of these mechs can fill a specific niche. So for instance, you have the assassin. The assassin is an harasser, meaning you go in, you drop your stuff on the enemy and you get out. Now some assassin are okay, the assassin is a plagued mech because the hitbox are completely fucked. If you want to if you shoot the legs, you damage the arms for some reason. It's completely borked, so your mileage may vary. But as an example, the assassin is an harasser mech. You go against single targets, you harass them, you damage them, and you disappear, and you get back once the coast is clear. Sometimes you can even get a kill, by the way. Same with the Arctic Wolf, an harasser mech. So they fill a good niche. They cannot be sniper. The Arctic Wolf cannot snipe, the assassin cannot snipe. They can harass though. Now the Blackjack, on the other hand, is an extremely well-rounded sniper slash harasser. I mean, yeah, it's basically, it pumps out AC2 rounds at a long distance, so you can dish out and build damage from the beginning. So you're basically a sniper. That's it. You can't do anything else with it. You cannot be a brawler with the blackjack. Reason being, you need an XL engine on this thing, most likely. And yeah, it's pretty wide. It's a mini Jaeger mech, if you look at it. And yeah, it's not a great mech to play the brawler build. Black Lantern, okay, let's skip it. Bushwalker is a great mech. You can make it. It's a very versatile mech. You can make a lot of stuff. And I still have not pinpointed what the Bushwalker can do. It's most likely a brawler or someone with racks, because exploiting his hitboxes. Centurion is a brawler. You have one shield arm, one autocannon, support weapons. You shoot, twist, shoot, twist. Okay? Consider this the sword and board variant of the fantasy games. Cicada, this one is more like the more like a scouting mech, but can really pump out some damage with medium lasers or medium pulse lasers. But it's more like a scout mech. The Crab is a brawler. Never played the Dervish, don't care. The Enforcer is a fire support mech. You can pack some ultra autocannons, but you need to use your teammates as cover, meaning you can amplify their damage. The Griffin can be a good brawler, and so on. Okay, so each mech has a niche, and you should work towards that. Now, which mechs do I recommend? I've already recommended the Bushwalker for the Innisphere, and I stand by this choice. Now, another good choice for the Innisphere really depends on what you want to do. The Bushwalker is very versatile, although I still don't know what it can do better, but it fills a niche with rotary autocannon. So if you get tired of that, it's hard to recommend a medium mech, because it depends on what you want to do on the battlefield. Okay, it's not that simple. I might actually recommend the either a Kintaro or a Vindicator as a second choice for mechs. The Kintaro is an excellent brawler if you pack him with SRMs, okay, especially this one. And the Vindicator, we have already talked about the Vindicator. Mech to skip, I wouldn't take the Uziel, not performing big hitboxes. The Trebuchet kinda useless. I mean, it's subpar. Okay, every mech works, it's just subpar. So I would not recommend this. So let's recap. Medium mechs, Bushwalker, and either the Vindicator or the Kintaro for the Innisphere. That's my recommendation. Now, if you wanna go with other mechs, feel free to do so. The Centurion is a good brawler. The Hunchback is a bit vulnerable because his massive firepower comes from this hunch on his back, and it can easily be taken down. So this is a fire support mech more than anything else. The Crab, if you wanna brawl with lasers, it can be a long range build too, because even though the arm mounts are a bit low, the mech is kinda flat, so it's fine. The let's see what else we can skip. No, nothing else really. Everything else it's okay. As for clanners, the Hunchback QC is a solid choice. Okay, you can go with ultra autocannons, or you can go with the large laser build. I mean, with the laser build. There are many variants, but the Hunchback QC is a solid choice. Another choice for clanners could be, let's see over here, I would skip the Huntsman. Very difficult to play. Asphore even more. The Nova is very vulnerable to being stripped, so I will skip that. The Shadowcat is a good mech, but I will skip it because it requires you to be an extremely good pilot. The Stormcrow is the second choice for clan mechs. It still is. It survived the test of time. Basically, it still is a good mech. You can go with the. You can switch basically an Omnipod and get a 6 medium pulse 6 medium medium pulse laser build on this thing. It still works. So recap, medium max, I will go with the Stormcrow and the Hunchback Chusi. Pretty standard here. Anything else is mostly situational and requires you to play in a certain way. Okay, for the sake of making this game a better game, I recommend you not take the Assassin. That thing is broken beyond comprehension. If you want to destroy the game, take the Assassin. If you want to make this game a little bit better for yourself and the other people, don't buy the Assassin. Anyway, Clan Max, Stormcrow and Hunchback Chusi. Okay, so where to go now? I will leave Light Max last. Now you got your 4 max or 2 max. Now let's go for the 3rd mech or the 5th mech, depending on how many mechs you wanna buy. Definitely I will not go with double heavies or double mediums. Just go with 1 heavy, 1 medium, pick whatever you like. 1 assault, 1 light, and then take another one of those with a different configuration. Now assault mechs, that's a tough nut. That's very difficult to crack. So there are a lot of choices, they're all viable, they're all good, and it's difficult to tell you which one to take. Definitely the Mudcat. What's the B? The B. This one. This is the most toxic mech you can buy from the assaults. It's very useful. You can do 2 UAC 10, 2 UAC 5, and that's a good starter choice for a clan mech as an assault. Is that you have good mobility, so you can be on top of your game, and you can deal a lot of damage with the ultra auto cannons. So definitely check the Medcat Mark II B, the B variant. Death Strike, it's payment, so I'm gonna skip it. Kodiak, nope. Can be good, but it's been nerfed to the ground. So you got the Medcat Mark II. Now the second second mech for the clans can either be a Blood Asp, the what is that? The Highlander is a good assault mech. It's very sturdy and it's very brawly. That means that if you look at my videos, the Highlander, you see that you basically lay waste to the enemy. So that's a good choice. There are many choices that you can actually take. I do not recommend the Warhammer Chusid, by the way. The Warrock is a good choice also, if you want a long range mech. And now the slower mechs like Direwolf can actually have troubles maneuvering through the battlefield, so I will not recommend them. Start with high mobility mech, but not too much high like the Gargoyle. Gargoyle goes at 81, but has very little firepower and needs to be played in a certain way. So clan mechs, definitely the Medcat Mark II, the B, okay, like beach, B variant, and the Highlander 2C are great starting mechs. The Blood Asp is, it's good, but it's very bulky. You feel the weight on this mech. Now for the Innisphere, lot of choices. There's literally, I cannot recommend you a good mech to start with the Innisphere, honestly. There are some good mechs, and that really depends on how you wanna play the game. So definitely the Atlas stands out as being the symbol of mech warrior. Basically, it's an icon mech. It can really rack some heavy damage if you build him properly. It's difficult to play, so you should try something else. Now there are many mechs not a particular mech I feel like. Stay away from the Stalker. I can tell you which mech you can stay away from. So the Stalker, the Zeus, the Highlander, Corsair, Charger. Yeah, those are the mechs you should stay away from. They're very weak and they are susceptible to certain type of checking, like Excel checking for the Zeus and whatnot. So I leave them for last. If you wanna try them, please get a sense of how assault mechs work. So I will go. Personally, I like the King Crab because it's a very vulgar mech, but you should try the Mauler or even the Victor, because the Victor can be squishy at times. It doesn't seem like he's a good fella, even though he has the armor buff. He's very light, 80 ton, but he's fast. 64 kph is great. It's a very good brawler mech, but overall there's not much to tell you here, man. Just go with the Atlas. You can go wrong with an Atlas. If you feel like you're being left out or you don't feel confident in your ability, take something else. Like really, every mech in the assault category of the Innosphere is okay to take. There's not a particular mech you should take for the assault class. Just look at the quirks. If you have bonus armor, this one doesn't have bonus armor, so I wouldn't take it. This one, I could possibly consider it, so it's a good mech if you wanna go with the 3S. But if they don't have bonus armor, don't take them. Okay. Lastly, so general recommendation: none for the Innosphere. Take whatever you feel like. Avoid the Stalker, the Zeus, the Charger and the Corsair. They are not good mechs in my opinion, so skip them. Take anything else. For clan mechs, definitely the Mad Cat Mark II should be your top priority. The B variant, top priority. Strip him, give him 2 AC10, 2 AC5 and go to town with that. Second choice for the clanners. Which one did I say it was? The Highlander 2C. It's a great mech, great brawler. If you get tired of blasting people in the face with the Medical Mark II, get the Highlander 2C. You will blast people in the face even better. And lastly, light mechs. I'm not a very good light pilot because I don't like them. But for Innosphere, there are some solid choices that you can take, and this should be piloted for last because they're very difficult. And I will go with the, assuming you now know how to play, I will go with the Commando because of the hitbox and the speed. Is really small. He's a really small guy. I will go with the Commando and either the Flea or the what is that? Or the Locust. Okay. They go fast, you can abuse the lag shield and you don't have to deal with being a support mech, like say a Cougar for instance. So like in a sphere you are Commando, Locust or Flea. In a sphere, clan mechs, you don't have many choices. You can go with Piranha. It's squishier than the Innosphere counterparts and harder to play, but definitely it's an excellent light mech. You just need to play him right. And the second mech for the light chassis for the clans is either a Mistlynx or a Kid Fox. Those things with AMS, they can be a real boon. So you can basically devastate enemy LRMs with your AMS. Anything else is very situational and they require you to know the game. The Arctic Cheetah is also a good sound light mech, but it's bigger and it goes at 129 kph. So be careful with that, it's not extremely fast. That being said, that concludes the section for which mech to take when you start out as a new player. Feel free to disagree, doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, pick whatever makes you happy. But consider the priority of mech light heavy, medium, assault and light when you're shifting chassis, because it really helps you down the road to not be frustrated. Learn the game. The game has a steep learning curve, so the road I laid out for you is the easiest one, the path of least resistance. You can go with light mechs from the beginning. I went from light mechs from the beginning. I think I bought the Jenner for my first mech, or a Commando 7 years ago in 2012. My first mech was either a Jenner or a Commando, I can't remember. So, and I was dying like crazy, like really crazy. So that's from my personal experience in 9 years, 7 years, whatever, 8 years. So again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the battlefield. Bye bye.